Hello everyone, my name is Ahmed and today I'm going to be walking you through how I accomplish Smart Weather Assistant project using generative AI and IoT. So first of all, I want you to know that this is a project that has been built to help individuals with visual impairment where they could communicate using a voice-driven interaction. So I'm using two platforms to build this project. I'm using Visual Studio Code, and I'm also using the Arduino software as well. So one of the very key things that you need to know is how to use a C++ and how to use a Python. So for the Arduino part, I'm using a C++ to build that, and you also need to ensure that you have a DHT library installed. If not so, your project is not going to work. And also you need to also learn how to use a Python, because for the integration part, which has to do with the AI, so I'm using a Python and I'm using a Visual Studio Code to build a project. So another thing that we need to know is you need to install some libraries on the Visual Studio part, which has to do with the AI. So you need to install some libraries that will enable you to have a successful smooth of the project, and then you need to also ensure that you're able to have a real-time connection of your IoT, where you need to learn how to use the microcontroller and the DHT sensors itself, which is the sensor that reads the temperature and humidity right from the weather. So you need to learn how to do some connections. And also another part that we also need to factor in based on the Smart Weather Assistant is you need to also install some libraries like the speech recognition, the PYTTX3, the Syria. So the Syria is the package that allows communication between your physical device, which is the IoT, and the artificial intelligence. So for this artificial intelligence, I'm using Mr. AI. Mr. AI is an open source AI built by OpenAI, which was built by 7 developers, and is an advanced, robust AI that has been used to build different kinds of application. So I use a Mistral AI in this project. And another thing that we need to learn is so you can find Mistral AI on the Hugging Face platform, and also you can find it on Deep Infra as well. So another key component of this project that you need to factor into is how to use a Python. So you need to learn how to use the Python. So for the AI part, I'm using a Python, and for the Arduino part, I'm using a C++. So the communication from my IoT to my physical device, which is the DHT11 sensor, to communicate is Syria. So you need to learn how to use the import is Syria. Another thing that you need to factor in is your microcontroller on your Arduino part. So you need to know what COM number is here. For me, I'm using a COM3, so you need to learn what your COM is, so that you're going to pass the Arduino port to the Python part for better communication. If not so, it's not going to work. So, and also you need to learn how to structure your code. You need to also factor in how to do some code structuring. You need to learn how to define your class. You need to learn how to define a function. And then also, because there's a means of communication here, we have the speech recognition, which converts your speech to text for the AI to understand what your communication is like. And then we have the PYTTSS3, which is the package that converts your text back to speech. So you need to learn how to code in C++, and you need to learn how to code in Python. So another thing that you want to factor in is you need to also learn how to debug as well, because sometimes you're going to face some challenges, some errors. Like me, I have some bug of errors, which is the integration part. So, and also for you to be able to build this project, you need to do some configuration, because you need the key, right? So you need the key to be able to achieve this. So if you go to a Deep Infra platform, you're able to generate a new key, because for me to be able to have a smooth success of this project, so yeah, I'm using a Deep Infra platform, which I register on, be able to generate a key. So that I created a new class called config, and with that class I was able to have a communication with my AI assistant. So the purpose of the config is that it's going to host the URL and the AI, because for the open AI, I'm trying to sort from a URL. For me to do that, I need a serial key. So I generated a key using the deep infra. So you might want to check into deep infra to see how to do that. And also, one of the interesting part about this project is that I have a SEP API, which is an additional API that checks if my Mistral AI that I'm using corresponding to give an accuracy result. So yeah, so you might want to also factor into how to use a SEP API. So you need the URL and the key as well. So you can type in SEP API and it's going to give you register on it, and you can generate the key on that. So and then after that, you need to learn how to integrate with the config to the normal the class AI assistant. And then so once you're done, then you can start. So you need to plug in your ports to your computer, and after you plug in that, so run your Arduino first, ensure that your Arduino is running and you can get your real-time data. So once you're able to run that, and then so you can now run your Python code using Visual Studio. So once you run your Python code, then the first thing that you should do is that it's gonna for me, I built my project to be able to ask of my name. So after my name, so the next thing I'm gonna do is that then my Python code absorbed or took the data from the Arduino, reading out the temperature and humidity, and after that, and then my AI part, processing, where it asks what are the questions you like to ask, and then you can communicate with whatever question you have based on weather or health tips, and then you're going to get a real-time response on that. So that is how I was able to figure out that. So some of the resources that I use to build this project is I use a deep infra, I use Hugging Face, I use Stack Overflow as well, and also I use a YouTube. So I use a couple of resources because at some points I was able to get stuck with this project and I wasn't able to move on. So I had to make an extensive research to ensure that yes, I was able to accomplish and complete this project. But this is a project that it was built to help individual with visual impairments, and sometimes in the future I'd like to advance on this project to make it more accessible. Thank you so much.